Hello, welcome to the cutting instructions for the third block, which is the 9-patch star. It is going to be a 12.5-inch block. There are 4 of them, and it is going to be 12 inches finished, but the block itself is going to be 12.5. So you're going to end up, when we're done, we're going to end up with a 12.5, and by the time we put it into the quilt, it'll be a 12-inch block. Okay. So today we're working with the green. The 9-patch star is a green and white star. We're going to need 16, so 4 times 4 is 16. Yes, so 4 each for each block, and there are 4 blocks, so that's 16 of the 2 5/8 by 5 5/16. So the first thing we want to do though is there is a block that we need to cut. It's 5 3/16, and we need 4 of those. Okay, so that will be the easiest one to cut, is the 5 3/16. Now you could go ahead and cut this at 5 5/16 and then just use whatever's left over and just trim off that extra 1/4 of an inch. So let's do 5 5/16. So we have 2, 4, and that's going to be 1, 2 right there. Okay, so it's just you're going to use that line that is the 1/4 of an inch, and you're going to go just in between that one and the next one, which would be 1, 2, 3. So you're going to go in between the 2 and the 3/8. The 5/16 is between those 2 lines. So we're just going to go ahead and cut that at, now that's for the 3/16, but my thought was it'll give us plenty of left over if we could just go ahead and go to the 5/16. Oh, that is the 5/16. 2, 4, 5. Yep. Okay. Sorry. Yep. And go ahead and cut that right off right there. Okay. So that's one. We're going to need another one, and we're going to see if we can get another one out of it. If not, we can always cut, and we're going to set this off to the side because we need to cut those into squares. We need 4 squares. 4 squares. Yes, 4 squares. Pretty sure we need 4 squares. We'll save the extra just in case. Okay. And then here is the next one, and this is going to be for our patches that are going to end up being 2 5/8. We're going to subcut those into 2 5/8. Now this one is probably not enough, but we can cut it so that we have it going the long way. So we can cut it in the 2 5/8. 2, 4, 5/8. And again, we're going to go to the 2/8 line. Wait, 2 5/8. Oh, be careful. So 2 5/8. This is not a 16th cut. This is an 8th cut. Okay. So 4 5/8. 4 5/8. Okay. And go ahead and put that off to the side. All right. So now we have our blocks over here that are going to be for the center block, the block number D. And then we have these blocks right here, which are going to be the 5 5/16 by 2 5/8. Okay. So let's just set this off to the side for right now. Okay. Now remember, we only need 2 each. 2 for one direction and 2 for the other directions. So for each block, we only need 4 of these, not 32 like the directions originally said. It's the way the directions have it written, it's 1 patch for each block, but you don't have to make that many, because if you cut that block apart, it'll create 2 of the same block or same piece. So let's go ahead and trim that off. Now, because these are the 5 5/16, we're going to go ahead and trim it at 2 5/8. And we're going to do a whole bunch of these. 2 5/8. So recheck that number just to make sure. 2 5/8. 2 5/8. And you can double this up so that you're cutting 4 at a time. You don't have to necessarily cut just 1 or 2 pieces at a time. Just remember, we do need 16, so we need to make sure that we're using that other piece that we cut off to get as much out of it as we can. And hopefully, if you're like me, you need to make sure you have some extra. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And 12. We'll set that off to the side just in case we need it. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 12. And then we just need 4 more blocks out of this one. So let's go ahead and only do 2 at a time, only because if we cut it down the middle on that one, then we're going to wind up shorting ourselves on it. So let's trim up the edge a little bit. Make sure we got it nice and straight. Okay, and then it's going to be 5 5/16. So 5 5/16. There's 2. And then 2 extra, just might as well have them ready. So 5 5/16. Okay. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and extra. Okay, so if you look at these are, again, we've got them right sides together, or either they are wrong sides together. So if you were to cut with one template, you should be able to cut every single one the way you need it, because you need one set in one direction and one set in another direction. So let's just try that. Now, I'll be honest, this is hard to do with these, with this particular fabric, because both sides actually look correct. So if something happened that you cut this wrong, it would be okay. All right, so what's going to happen next is we're going to take these and cut these from corner to corner, just like this. But try to be very, very accurate as you can, because we need to use our template. Okay, so I have pulled my template. Let me find my paper scissors here real quick, and I'm going to cut this out. There are 2 different templates here. If you're looking, you have one template that goes that way and one template that goes that way. So this one, the point is down this way. This one, the point is up on this. But if you have right sides together, then you're going to be cutting two of them at the same time that are actually going in opposite directions, which is perfect. So let's go ahead and get this cut out. And remember, let me grab this real quick. The one I sent has this 1-inch line. So when you download this, pull it up, PDF it, whatever you've got, when you pull it up, measure this. If this is not 1 inch, then either enlarge it or shrink it to get that 1-inch line, okay? So that your templates will be accurate. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your template and you're going to lay it on here, and you're going to cut out those dog ears just like we did with the other one. And you're going to do this for all 16 cuts. And then you're going to stack them up. Which ones go on the right side, which ones go on the wrong side, and have 2 different stacks for that. Okay? So, if we were to use this one as an example, the inside is right sides. So now we have that one. And we have that one. And these are going to be the in the right direction, because we have some that are going to be going this way and some that are going to be going the other way. This is a kind of a picture of what it's going to look like. So some are going to go this way, some are going to go that way. And no matter what you do, when you flip them around, these do not match, okay? They would actually wind up back to back. So that's what we're aiming for, is that right there. Now, this should give us plenty, because this will stack up. We need a total of 4 for this block, so 4 of these halves for each block. So 16 of these will give you 32. And if you divide 8 into 32, that should give you 4. 8, 16, 32, yes. Okay, just got to do the math in my head. All right, now you're also going to do the same with the white blocks. So you've already cut out your whites, because we already had a, sorry, it's so bright in here. The sun is just starting to go down. So it's really, really bright in here. So what's going to happen is you are going to need to do a B and a C. So this one is going to go this way. And this one is going to go this way. Okay. Which means that your blocks are going to end up like this. Okay. So if I turn this around and you take a look at it, this is what you're ending up with. Actually, this one's a little bit backwards. There we go. This one, yeah. Okay. So it's just a matter of making sure you have it going in the right direction. If you have them all going this way, make them all this way, okay? So if it doesn't end up exactly like this one right here, as long as they're all going in the same direction. So say a green on the right and a white on the left. Now, if you like it the other way, if you want it to be as it should, you know, as you see it on the paper, then you're just going to flip everything over this way. There. It was better the other way. There we go. So that's how you see it on the paper. It's just like that. And we need to make 4 blocks just like this to go all the way around. And you're going to use 4 4.5 inch blocks on each corner. And you should have 16 for this one and 16 for the other one. So 4 times 4 is 16. Sorry, I'm momentary brain fart. Okay, so that's what you need to do. You need to take it and cut all of them with the template to this size. So if you cut them across in half like this, okay, with right sides together or wrong sides together, doesn't matter. This is going to just make it a little bit easier for you. You're going to put your template down on your paper, and you're going to go ahead and cut out the dog ears, which that just means that normally when you're done putting these together, you're going to have a little dog ear you have to nick off. We're going to go ahead and nick those off right now. And what that's going to do is also help us with placement when we're putting it up against the next one. So for instance, when you go to put this block with this block, you're going to use the dog ear spots, like right here on the corner. I don't know if you can see that. Right here on the corner, you're going to use it to match up with this one. So that when you do your 1/4 inch and you fold it out, this is going to create that perfect 2.5 inch. And that's what you need, is you need this to be 2.5 inches. Okay, so tomorrow when we do it, we're going to experiment with one first, and then we were going to go ahead and do the rest of them. Now, go ahead and finish this up tonight. You want to make sure and have them stacked. And I use a sticky note. I use lots of sticky notes. So have it sticky noted that this side up, this is right side, or this is wrong side, and stick it to your stack of right side ups. Okay, and the same with your background fabric. Okay, so make sure you have it all cut and ready to go tomorrow. All right, now let's do that last cut, and I'll finish these up in a little bit. Let's do that last cut. Now, that one set of cuts gave you what you needed. So now we need 4 of these. It says there it needs 8, but because of the way it's cut and sewn together, when you flip it, it actually will create a whole block. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut 4 out of this. And then if you have enough, go ahead and cut an extra one. Or if you need to, you know, hold on to it and see if you mess up some of your other blocks. It's always nice to have a little bit extra left over. All right, let's do this. Okay, so over here, I have my white ones. I actually have too many of them, but that's okay. It's better to have too many than not enough. So I have my whites over here. And I'm going to do 5 3/16. Just remember to look at it, and you're just rechecking the numbers across here to make sure that you really are doing 3/16 and not 3/8. And so 3/16 would be, if you go to the first, the 1/8 mark, it's the very next spot in between the two. So it's in between 1/8 and 2/8. Okay. And let me go ahead and make a cut. That gives me 2. And then I'm going to do one more. Making sure that I have this as level as possible. And there's that one. All right. So tomorrow we will work on getting these cut out together. Now, one of the things you can do, if you would like, is on the white ones or your green ones, what I need you to do is go ahead and either, if you're one of those people who like to draw the line down the middle, or whichever way you like to do it, go ahead and do your line down the middle, because we're going to be doing half square triangles. So we're going to sew down the center sides, you know, one on each side, and then we're going to turn around and cut that, and then go down the other side. We'll cut down the other side. Anyways, so either one, you're going to need to draw your line down the center, or if you like to do it on, you know, going from the center over to 1/4 inch, go ahead. We'll cover this again tomorrow, so don't worry, it's not going to be life-altering if you don't get that done tonight. We will cover that. All right, if you have any questions or this video doesn't make any sense, please feel free to go ahead and send me an email. This is my email address, and my YouTube is SRQ Quilters, and my email is srqquilter@gmail.com. So I'm SRQ Quilters for YouTube, but I'm SRQ Quilter at Gmail as an email address. Okay, there was some confusion as to what the name was going to wind up being. So, all right, one more second. All right, y'all. Thank you very much. Good luck with that. If there's any problems, like I said, just send me a text, send me an email, whatever you need to do. All right, thank you very much, and good luck.